developments from the group. Here's our business correspondent, Joe Lynham.
Last week, BHS was put into administration amid falling sales, huge debts and a pensions deficit of £571 million. Its two most recent owners, Dominic Chappell of Retail Acquisitions and Sir Philip Green, have been criticised for taking large dividends out of the company while the deficit grew. Now both men are to appear before MPs on the Cross-Party Work and Pensions Committee as well as the Business Committee. BHS pension trustees and Sir Philip's wife, Tina Green, have also been called. The Work and Pensions Committee Chair Frank Fields said the spine of the inquiry was to look where money had been taken from the company had gone and how it may have disadvantaged BHS pensioners.
Supporters of a powerful Shia cleric have set up camp outside the Iraqi parliament in Baghdad after hundreds of them stormed the building demanding an end to weeks of political deadlock. The followers of Muqtada al-Sadr are calling for a new non-partisan government to be formed and an end to corruption. The American State Department says it's working on specific initiatives to curb the violence in Syria and revive the cessation of hostilities. It's particularly concerned about the bloodshed in Aleppo, where more than 200 people have died in a week of government airstrikes and rebel shelling. Reporting from Washington, here's Laura Bicker.
The US Secretary of State John Kerry has issued a statement making clear that ending the violence in Aleppo and returning a nationwide ceasefire to Syria is a top priority. Aleppo was left out of a temporary US-Russian brokered truce that appeared to be holding elsewhere in the region. Washington is now urging Russia to put pressure on the Syrian government to stop what it says is an indiscriminate bombardment. But Moscow insists the air raids on Aleppo are part of the fight against terrorist groups. Mr Kerry is travelling to Geneva to discuss the situation with the UN envoy to Syria and the foreign ministers of Jordan and Saudi Arabia.
Leicester City, who were once 5,000 to 1 outsiders to win the Premier League title, could be crowned champions this afternoon. The side need to beat Manchester United at Old Trafford to cap what would be a fairy tale season. Daniel Berrigan, a radical Catholic priest who led protests against the Vietnam War in the United States, has died at the age of 94. Father Berrigan and his brother Philip, who was also a priest, came to prominence in 1968 by burning the draft cards of young men who'd been called up to fight. The pair went on the run after being convicted, but were eventually arrested and jailed. Barack Obama has poked fun at Donald Trump and the others hoping to replace him during his final speech as president to the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner. During the light-hearted event, he said Republicans had criticised Mr Trump for lacking foreign policy experience, even though he'd met such world leaders as Miss Sweden and Miss Azerbaijan. Mr Obama also said people had begun treating him with less respect during his final months of office, citing his recent visit to Kensington Palace as an example.
Some foreign leaders, they've been looking ahead, anticipating my departure. Last week, Prince George showed up to our meeting in his bathrobe. That was a slap in the face.
President Obama.
Righty, we are back in the live rounds with Charlotte Lynch. She's going to give us a few tunes. Let me just get that Facebook stream back on with you. I've just turned it around against the wall so you can't look at me. Hold on a minute.
There we go. Woohoo.
Say hello to Charlotte.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, it's clever stuff, isn't it? Right then, Charlotte, let's get you a bit of reverb on here.
Mm-hmm.
And what is this first song that you're going to be playing for us on this fine Sunday evening?
So the first one is called Stars. It's the one that you mentioned earlier that I did at the Merseyrail thing.
Oh, yes.
Sang it in Central, so yeah, that's the first one I'm going to do.
Good girl.
It's gone through about 7 million name changes, but I've gone for like the most obvious one in the end.
In your own time?
Something just doesn't feel right when the words won't leave without a fight. Try to impress you, failure I set up. You picked the best view, towering above. 'Cause from what I found here on the ground, we're looking at the stars. You wanted a little bit more, so you took mine without a second thought. Say you deserve it for all the things you've done. Have you forgotten those you're standing on? 'Cause from what I found here on the ground, we're looking at the stars. You'll never see that far. Dee da ba ba dee da ba ba dee da ba ba do ba ba, but dee da ba ba dee da ba ba do ba da oh 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 I do the bow do the bow do the looking at the stars. You'll never see that far. You'll never see that far.
Absolutely lovely.
Thank you.
You do know how to sing, don't you?
Sort of.
Yeah, very good vocal there, girl. Very good vocal. And lovely songwriting as well.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't want to blow your trumpet too much, you know.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. You do yourself more justice in flesh than you do on your recordings.
Thanks. Oh, that's good.
Were they all old recordings though?
Quite old, yeah. But yeah.
Sounds better live.
Yeah, in the flesh.
Yes,
yeah.
I think so. What are you going to hit us with next, Charlotte?
Next one is called Sheltered. It's another picky type thing. Yeah, just because I like to torture myself a little bit. I'd rather be strumming, just getting through it. But
I thought you were going to say you're
Never
trying to
mind.
commit suicide and all that then. I was like, whoa, this isn't Jeremy Kyle. Slow down.
yeah.
All right, girl.
Keep it lighthearted.
After you.
Oh, I can hear you falling. I know you can't afford it. I think in the confusion I lost the illusion that you're untouchable. You know I found you. The haziness surrounds you. Oh, they told me not to look, but I never really took to their way of life. My sheltered eyes. Now I'm crying at the table. You said I wasn't able to show how much I love. It would never be enough. It's a lot to take a 10-year-old mistake. I'd say it isn't easy to change whatever you've seen me. If you've never been alone, then you'll never really know you have to be brave. It's just another day. 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 There we go.
We just turned my microphone on. There's so many buttons going on in this room at the minute. It's just so easy to forget. Let me just check this one. Have I forgot to turn this back on? Yes, I have. The audio on the website's been off, but I've just put it back on now. Fail. There's just so many things to remember. I'm looking at the levels and I'm looking at you playing. And
Yeah, there's a lot. Just looking at it is stressing me out, so I don't know how you do it.
It's stressful, it is. But well, as long as they're all enjoying themselves on Facebook, I'm going to be very interested to look at that and see what's come out at the end of this show. What's the third song you're going to hit us with tonight, Shell?
Third song is called Alpha. This one's actually on my SoundCloud, if anybody likes it enough to want to listen to it again. And I recorded that at SAE.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just across the road from me, which is nice.
Do you know Vanessa Murray?
I do, yeah.
She sounds very similar to yourself.
Very
similar sort of songwriting, vocal even to a degree.
Yeah.
But that's what I think.
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah, she's really good. So
yeah.
That's quite nice.
But I kind of see you maybe going down the same kind of path as her, but get a few people involved, because if you listen to properly produced and polished stuff, it's really, really good, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd really like that.
And when I hear things like that, I'm in the back of my head thinking, how would that sound with some drums and a nice bit of bass on it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd love like a cello or a violin or something.
Exactly. That'd be
That'd
awesome,
be amazing.
Yeah. Make it happen.
If anyone's out there, play the cello.
Yeah. All right, after you.
Cool. Been in doubt for a long time. Sea is calm now in my mind, but I can feel it start to swell. The waves, the worry, I might tell too much. What if I never find out all the lies leaving your mouth? You don't know where it began, but you can't let go of their hand too far. Down, down, down. Sell me love, sell me freedom. Sell me drugs, tell me I need them. Oh, we're so busy keeping score. It's second nature to ignore all the hurt that is not ours. Doesn't mean it's not in your heart. The revolution's at your feet. You hear the whispers on the street.
Oh, that was a quick one.
I know, that one's really short, sorry.
How long's that? About a minute and a half?
Yeah, it is really short. Yeah. It was inspired by, the film Alphaville?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was inspired by that, and then just kind of, I didn't want to add anything to it, because it seems, as it is, it seems like a nice little practice, especially because I made my own kind of music video to it with clips from Alphaville, so it looks quite cool with that. But yeah, when you hear it on its own, you're like, oh,
I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just you didn't want to interrupt the way it was.
Yeah,
It just,
exactly,
Didn't need